Dear, today I'm going to explain a Thai comedy youth drama film called Ugly Duckling series, Don't. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Maewnam is an extremely shy and insecure teenage girl who wears a box over her head at all times. She suffers from a strange condition that causes her to hate her own face. She genuinely believes that she is the ugliest person to exist on the planet and has to be hidden from people. In fact, she hasn't looked at herself in the mirror for over 3 years and has not stepped outside the house either. Maewnam lives with her brother, Plawan, and her father, Mr. Bon, who are always worried about her. One evening, Plawan returns home with a bruised elbow and admits to shoplifting. To save himself from getting in trouble, he diverts his father's attention to his sister being a total psycho. Because of her condition, Maewnam also gets frequent panic attacks and has difficulty breathing when she is anxious. Plawan's comment hurts her, making it difficult for her to breathe. Mr. Bon, who has gotten used to her reactions over the past years, helps her calm down. Maewnam then narrates the story of her life in her blog about how she became an ugly duckling. It may be surprising to people that for the first 13 years of her life, Maewnam was like any normal person. She had friends, a social life, and was confident about herself. But then, in middle school, she fell in love with the most handsome boy in her class. She was so head over heels for him that one day, she confessed her love in front of everyone. However, to her dismay, the boy did not reciprocate her feelings. Instead, he threw her gift to the ground and called her the ugliest girl ever. He even asked her to wear a bag over her head, declaring her face to be a jump scare. All of her classmates followed the guy's lead and called her ugly. The incident was so traumatizing for the poor girl that she shut out from everyone around her and refused to go to school again. Mr. Bon tried his best to convince her otherwise, but upon realizing that she is facing a real problem, he let her get homeschooled. After the incident, Maewnam didn't look at herself in the mirror for a year and didn't go outside at all. That is, until one day she was outside the house trying to retrieve a stuck balloon. A stranger approached and offered her help. Maewnam immediately put a paper bag over her head to hide her face. At that moment, she realized that the most confidence she feels is when her face is covered. The position of the bag felt just right, almost as if she had found her soulmate. And hence, since that day, she has never shown her face to anyone. Eventually, the bag turned into a box because it was more sturdy. Her family gets a glimpse of her face sometimes, but Maewnam prefers to stay hidden, even from them. She hardly allows herself to look into the mirror. Maewnam enjoys most of her time by anonymously talking to people on social media. She feels more in place online, since no one can see each other's faces. The next day, Mr. Bon goes to her doctor and asks for an instant cure for her sickness. The doctor clarifies that Maewnam is not sick. She has a strange condition famously known as hikikomori in Japan. It mainly affects adolescents or young adults who live isolated from the world, locked in their bedroom for days, months, or even years, refusing to communicate with anyone. According to the doctor, Maewnam's case is not that serious because she still talks to her family, which means she has a chance of socializing with other people if she is forced to go out. Her only problem is that she is scared. The doctor advises Mr. Bon to get his daughter out before she cuts off her family as well. At dinner, Maewnam uses a straw to eat, refusing to take the box off. In a heavy voice, Mr. Bon asks his children to listen to him carefully. The siblings do not let him talk and assume either he has cancer or he is gay. Mr. Bon puts down both claims and reveals that he wants Maewnam to go to school with her brothers, starting tomorrow. Maewnam thinks he is joking and retaliates, as he had expected, but this time, Mr. Bon doesn't give in to her stubbornness and is adamant about his decision. Even Plawan is surprised by his father's persistence. Maewnam declares that she hates him and storms off to her room. She cries for the next hour, nervous about tomorrow. She is certain that everyone will bully her for the box. Still, she prefers being bullied to being called ugly. To make her feel better, Plawan brings her a new box to replace the old one and offers to help her decorate it. Following that, she takes off the box for the first time and reveals her face that is anything but ugly. Plawan assures her that he won't let people make fun of her, but it doesn't make her feel better. Then, the siblings decorate the new box for Maewnam. The following morning, Mr. Bon drives his children to school. While Plawan gets out of the car and walks in, Maewnam starts to hyperventilate under the box. Mr. Bond plays calming music to help her and motivates her to go in. Maewnam apologizes for saying mean things to him last night and thanks him for trying to help her. As soon as she leaves, Mr. Bond also breaks down crying, worried for his daughter. Maewnam holds her breath and finally walks into the school. The big bright box on her head does not go unnoticed. Everyone starts to point at her and whisper, which makes her panic even more. Their laughs remind her of the day she was humiliated all those years ago. Maewnam gets dizzy and is about to pass out, but a guy comes to help her right on time. He also has a helmet on, which makes her feel a bit better. The guy introduces himself as Minton, but she gets nervous and runs away. While she is at it, she accidentally bumps into the school's most popular guy, Zero. He and his group of friends ask her to take the box off, curious about her looks. When Maewnam refuses to do so, they surround her and try forcing it off. They are stopped by Minton, who takes off his helmet and reveals his face. Zero and Minton stare at each other in anger and decide to solve the conflict outside school. Minton then holds Maewnam's hand and takes her away. In the following scene, she is nervously standing in front of the class. The teacher has been told about her condition, so she requests the students to respect her privacy. But being typical teenagers, they start to bully her, urging her to show them her face. Minton